Good afternoon. This is the Monday, June 17th nominations and appointment committee meeting. My name is Chris Miller, counselor for District 6, and with me is Vanessa Campos, counselor for District 1, and Wesley Butler for District 4. Tonight, we do not have any interview for appointments or reappointments. However, we do have an agenda to discuss some other issues related to nominations and appointments. And with that, we will start with item number 1, which is a continued discussion on removal of youth commission members. And I guess we'll start with Shelley, if you just want to give an overview, and then when you're done, Wes, if you could just follow up, since you're the counselor who is the appointee for that commission.
So we had 2 people who were appointed who never attended any meetings or engaged in any of the activities that the commission did. So this committee asked me to reach out to them both one more time and give them a few more weeks to respond. One of them did. She apologized for not communicating properly, and she was not attending due to her school schedule. So she, I would recommend we keep her. She said that her schedule should allow her to do better this coming school year and this summer. The other one did not respond. No call, no email, no text, because I contacted them all 3 ways. And I sent a letter.
Wes, do you have any comments?
Well, I guess we didn't have a youth commission meeting last but I guess asking the commission members next meeting if they're fine with if you want to say that person's name, they can decide to that. I'd like to, but they're fine with joining.
Okay.
I don't think they should have an issue with it, but I give them a courtesy.
Okay. We can do that next meeting.
Does the youth commission have any say in this, or is it all based from nominations?
No, the youth commission enabling legislation did not include the clause that allows for removal of members, but that clause is in all the other boards and commissions legislation. And the process would start with the commission saying, so-and-so hasn't attended, we've not heard from them, and would make a recommendation to council to remove that person. We didn't have that this time because that piece is missing. So there's an amendment on the table to add it so that we don't have to do this again. We can follow the regular process moving forward if this would happen in the future.
So this clause applies to
all boards and commissions. Yeah, if you miss 3 consecutive meetings without being excused or contacting, the chairperson or the liaison about, sorry, I'm going to miss this one. This is going on. I'll be back in, whenever. So that has not happened with these ladies. They've been non-communicative, so.
So what council has in front of us that we're gonna do, I believe, says specifically for the youth.
Right, and the language that's in that amendment is copied exactly the way it is in the others, so that it's all consistent across all boards and commissions.
I'm confused because it says the youth commission, and you're saying is not specific to the youth commission, it's for all the board and
right.
Commission, but the language says the youth. So
right, because as it stands now, when the council created the youth commission, that removal clause was not included, but it's included everywhere else.
why wasn't it? It was dismissed.
I don't know. I didn't write it. I didn't I wasn't involved with it then.
Initiative.
So we should probably do that as well. Yeah, it's because it's not in there either. It should be, yeah. So the same counselor who wrote the Youth Commission wrote the Citizens Initiative Commission, and I think that we just kind of did it, and yeah, we didn't catch it, so,
Okay, but it makes sense why it would be worded that way.
yeah,
I appreciate the follow-up that you did, because even though out of the two, one didn't, the other did.
right.
So I know we talked about having a system in place or protocol. I don't know if this needs to be in writing. You said they joined in August, if I remember back in some of the notes, and you contacted them throughout, time span. I don't know if every 3 months, or I know we had some conversation about having, and not only for the youth, for, all of the other commission and boards. How often do we check in, and when is like the last, because I know this was your last. And then the method of contact. I know there's text, call, mail. And then what's the other?
Email.
Email.
Mhm.
So making sure we're getting all 4 of those.
Yep.
I don't know if that needs to be in writing or where we stand on that. I know we had a discussion overall,
Yeah.
but I like that final reach to that young lady helped her come back, because we don't want to lose members.
Right,
But I don't know if that needs to be in writing as well.
that doesn't, that can just be an office policy.
Okay.
And I can tell you that specifically for this commission, they get emails from me regularly because as the staff liaison, I'm reminding them about meetings and, opportunities to be at events and, all of those things that I see, I forward to them. So these two ladies have been seeing that all along and not responding to anything.
Our discussion was more about having other methods of communication, which email is like number one, and it's probably
Right.
something that we can ask future reappointments, or are you are you going to, or new appointments? Email's huge, so make sure you're on it. Some
Right.
people are not really on it. But in terms of making, before we dismiss them or let them go, making sure we're hitting all the other communication methods as well. These things specifically that youth is not on board with email, because that's kind of like workplace more
Right.
than school environment.
And the moderator or facilitator for the youth commission also manages a group chat. So they're getting text messages and they're getting from her and they're getting emails from me regularly. So, and they've not engaged either way, so.
So then I wonder what happens now that she says she's on board. Like, then we would have to 3 months out kind of see.
Yeah, like when school.
Kind of monitor. Is this gonna reoccur?
Speak about, if they're under a certain age, if they could provide 2 emails, one for the parent. So that,
I think.
yeah, so that the parent also is aware that they're not holding up their end of the tender.
So I don't mind doing that, but I can tell you that in the past, one of our younger members gave me their parents' cell phone number as part of the group chat, and he made me remove that number because he didn't want to get those text messages. So it goes both ways.
I mean, an email.
Correct.
I want.
But I also think that's just one instance as an example, but 18 and below, which I think 16, 17, 18, if they're in, which I'm assuming they are with their parents, I think a second point of contact would help. And I'm only saying this because this is a commission that is struggling with people.
Mhm.
We don't have enough. So those that we have, if we're finding proactive ways to keep them or making sure we're reaching out, I think it would help with numbers.
How many are?
Six.
That's how many are on, or how many are on?
The ones that we have those are the ones that are active.
Okay.
That does not count these 2 that we're talking about now. And some that have been appointed whose terms have expired, who never reached back out to me either. And there are some that have always been vacant. They're never had been filled.
So we have two openings, or is it three because the one resigned?
On the youth commission? No, it's a lot more than that. There's 2 vacancies in District 1, 1 in District 2, 1 in District 4, 2 in District 6, and 2 that are appointed by the mayor. So there's a lot of vacancies on here.
I know, Leslie, I sent an email, I don't know if the body was, probably was about like finding ways to work with the school to kind of keep the youth commission language out and about so that they can hear about it. Leslie suggested just making sure we're working with the community organization, to get first teams. And I think there's so many other organizations that we can push this out so that they can recruit the youth that's in their organization. That's a lot.
Yeah, and there used to be someone from the school board who would also liaison with the youth commission. They have not been attending. And I have asked for a replacement, and I've gotten no response to that as well.
Who was that person? Like, is that their name, but like, what was their role in the school?
That used to be, it was a school board member. Mhm.
And can we reach to the school board as a whole, see if maybe somebody else is interested? Because that would be very helpful.
I did try, I can try again.
Yeah, talk about. But the schools. Plus the school from each other. This would be one of the topics that we will discuss.
So you mean, joint meeting, so it's
Yeah,
like, oh,
where, I mean, a lot of times we deal with similar issues, our buildings are directly across the street from each other, and yet we're like 2 separate worlds. I think there's sometimes where the conversation, rather than being held with the school board, being held with council, if it was together, we might be able to make things happen. It might be able to expedite things.
But I mean, like, meeting as in, would it be all the members and all council, because everything that would have to be public, or would it be some school board members?
No, I think.
Yeah, I think it's 3 of each body.
Right.
And council made its appointments to that when you did all the appointments at the beginning of the year. So there were 3, and I don't recall who they are.
You mean the work group?
I don't need a formal meeting, I mean, just sort of like an invitation to meet. And I think we had discussed this last year.
Yeah, I think that there's one on the calendar, but I don't recall when it's coming.
Who is
Okay.
the work group that we have going on the list?
No, separate. Separate from the work group.
No, it's the work group.
I think when the school board had the meeting in the auditorium, and it ended up that, I mean, it was open to the public and the majority of council went.
Mhm.
And then there were a few of us that went to their board meetings, and the conversation came up that, it would be an interesting concept just to have an open meeting between the 2 bodies. And yes, it would be open to the public, but I think it sort of fell off the radar.
Yeah, that's not anything I was aware of.
But I agree, yes, I think that would be something that we can follow up with, and if it has to be public, so be it, so that we can start getting more united.
Maybe we'll try that again, fall, see if that can happen.
Yeah, in the meantime, I can see if they can add this to the agenda of the work group to discuss and see if there's a
So
board
do we
member.
have it in the fall, would you have to coordinate, like, who would be coordinating that? They would have to, like?
Usually Linda coordinates with the board secretary across
Okay.
the street and they work out the schedule.
So you attended,
Yes,
when was the last time a school board member actually?
it was a long time ago.
Yeah, when it was inducted, like when it was created, that was one of the.
And I wonder if that
Did
member.
anybody ever?
No, I was Mark Detterlot.
It was Mark and but he fell away. I'd have to look at old minutes to see when the last time was that he attended, but it's been quite some time.
And even if he resigns his board membership or whatever, somebody should be taken out.
They should have someone else
Right.
coming, yeah.
Okay. We move on.
If you're ready, are we okay with then if the youth commission says yes to take that young lady off? We are okay with me putting a resolution on the agenda following to remove.
I am.
So we would have to, council will have to approve when a member is removed from a board.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you're okay with that, if the commission says yes, it's fine, then I'll put that resolution on, okay. Thank you.
Good housekeeping. Okay, review of the Citizens Initiative Commission, which we started a couple meetings back. This is the commission that just never seems to be able to get off the ground.
Right.
I had a thought, we had a conversation in council about the Charter Review Commission where each counselor was responsible for finding somebody to be on that committee. And I think maybe we could do the same thing with this.
The difference is that with the Charter Review Commission, you don't have to choose someone in your district.
Right,
For this commission, you do, I believe.
that's correct. But even if the
So we nominate them because they would come here and get interviewed different than the charter review of teachers company and then. But they would have to interview for this, right?
Correct.
correct. But it wouldn't necessarily have to be that the counselor would be responsible for picking the person. The counselor would be responsible for finding, maybe there's an organization or business or somebody who might know somebody. But just the responsibility of making sure that someone would step forward. Even, you wouldn't have to personally know them. You would just take on the responsibility of finding a candidate in your district.
And we do now have two applicants. We got a second one, so the second applicant is from District 6, so that would cover District 4 then and District 6
Wait,
with the
wait,
applicants.
wow, look at that one.
We got it early last week, I believe. Yeah, so,
I think if the word gets out, there are people who wouldn't want to get involved. The problem is that a lot of people they're not even familiar with.
Right.
Who are those people, Sharon?
it's Tanya Butler, and the other one's name is Louis Paris. Yeah, I think he just came in last week. He applied online. Yeah, he's a frequent contact with the office, so.
And to me.
He is District 6, yes.
He's actually right on the line.
Right,
uh,
right.
Between District 5 and District 6.
Mhm.
But he would be
So
good.
do we have to have any like business to, yeah,
A simple majority. So that would be 6. Because it's an 11-member board.
Right, and what about the mayor's office? Is there some way to sort of say,
I can, yep,
let's expedite this? Maybe by like August, we can actually have a board that can function.
The mayor knows about this, but probably a little nudge to
May
say,
not be a priority.
right.
yeah, nudge to
Right.
say, we're
Can you-
reviewing at this point, are you, because I'm sure he can come up with at least 2.
and 2 are city council people. So that would be 2 more.
To city councilor. So there's no city councilor right now on this.
No, because it's not been active.
Mm.
We haven't chosen anyone. It's been kind of like the youth commission was at the beginning. We didn't have anyone until we were ready.
Right.
So when would, what you're saying, August, first, like when?
Hopefully, if we
When
could
do we
get
have-
at least, if we can get one from each district, and hopefully the mayor would be able to, that would give us enough to like start to move forward.
And then have two councils come forward, like, and decide, so that would happen at once.
But yes, relatively, yeah.
Okay. Anything else under that subject?
Where it says purpose on page 2, it says, the commission shall work to improve the effectiveness of local government, recommending policy changes to administration and legislative recommendations.
Mhm.
Policy changes and legislative recommendations, how do we explain that in simple language to like? They would have to be doing a lot of reading about legislation and.
I don't know that it's,
Explaining it appropriately to those that are interested, here's what you're going to.
yeah, so they, what we've done with them before, and there's usually a staff liaison with them, or more than one sometimes. If there's a meeting and everybody's concerned about parking, we'll help guide them through how to make changes to what's happening with parking. So it's not necessarily that they're doing it on their own, they'll have people there to help them. What we're looking for with this is people who are known in the community, who can bring the community's concerns forward and then take back to the community any progress or what the options are. You know, well, we've talked about this and there are 5 options. Which one do you like best? You know, to get direction of which way things may or may not be able to change.
So we go.
Yes. Yep. Yep. Or the
So-
administration if it's policy and not, you know, so that's why it's usually multiple staff liaisons for this one.
So you said policy, administration, legislation, council.
Yep. Which is why there's 2 council liaisons on it. So you hear firsthand what the concerns are that are coming forward through the citizens that are attending.
So who's from administration, which staff?
I don't know if it says it in here or not. It doesn't say, so that would be something we'd have to work out.
So the mayor would appoint two, we have 2 people to pick,
He gets 3 people to pick.
so it probably could be staff, maybe, or something.
Staff can't serve. Staff cannot be, employees cannot be members, which is why I go to a lot of meetings and I act as like liaison facilitator, take the notes, do the
Mhm.
follow-up work. But I don't get a vote. So it would be the same with, yeah, it would be the same with any employee. So if, you know, if he would choose to have Kenya come, she would serve in that same type of role, as a liaison, but not be a member.
I'm excited about this, it's got a lot of potential, it's just haven't launched, but it's just.
Yeah.
And just to unite and.
It's a good thing. It's just, it's taken a while to get it.
Yeah, it hasn't launched, yeah.
Here, and things that, like little gaps here and there. I'm excited for that.
Okay, review pending applications memo. Board Authority Commission opening.
So we have, like I said, the second applicant for the Citizens Initiative Commission. And I just this afternoon received the mayor's approval for the Planning Commission applicant. So that will, I'll contact him tomorrow about getting scheduled for the next committee meeting.
I have a question,
Mhm.
sort of related but not related. In the listing of the boards, the position that was the mayor's appointment and was Dolores, now that she's with the parking authority, is she still on those boards, or it was,
No.
No, that would have to be updated. I'll write myself a note to
Okay.
see who's attending now. That's the pension boards, right?
there was a couple. Pension board, police pension board,
Yeah.
one more.
Yeah, there's an O&E pension board as well. She was attending all three pension boards.
Right, fire pension board. Maybe that's it. Okay,
Yep, I'll check.
Usually, somebody from administration would come. Maria came last time, but the locals would be amusing too.
Oh, no, regular.
Yeah, we
Yeah, she
do.
would, I think she would be, virtual, and then the one meeting where Rosado came in person, so I'm not sure. Like if she will continue, Rosado's not with is she with Parking Authority right now, right?
Maria?
Yeah.
She's still in the mayor's office and she gets invited to all the meetings. She gets all the links and things that you guys get
Typical for Dolores' spot here.
in this,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's not from the park. I thought she was.
No,
Am I
Dolores-
confused?
So Maria,
parking,
yeah,
Uh-huh.
but
Maria Rosado is the parking authority. Maria Delgado is the mayor's assistant.
So I got them both.
So it's two different, yeah, it's two different ladies.
Yeah.
I saw it here and I'm like, are you in the parking authority? I got the wrong. I think I asked that, I've gotten somebody in trouble. Yeah.
no,
So the one in the mayor's office is Delgado. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She would like to take Dolores'
The
spot
Dolores'
here,
Here, yeah.
wherever.
And that's what it-
she's the one you see when you walk in.
To the, and yeah. Yeah.
Jackie has dark
Yeah.
hair. She's new too.
Yeah.
Yes.
I remember I was in the hiring, orientation that I went in and she happened to know, like, oh. Exciting.
And English,
Mhm.
Yes.
do,
Yeah.
Yes.
Very positive.
yeah. Anything else?
I don't have anything else.
Oh, okay, motion to adjourn? Okay, meeting adjourned. Thank you. Have a good evening.